Hi, everybody. This is a brief presentation about preparing for your studies here at Eastman. This is part of our Premier Eastman 2022 orientation program to welcome all of our incoming first-year students to our school. First of all, welcome to Eastman. We are all very excited to have you here this fall. My name is Louise Ly, and I am the academic counselor at the school. My role is housed within the larger Office of Academic Affairs. All Eastman students will have their own individual advisor, which is typically their primary instrument instructor or a departmental faculty member. I oversee all of the students as a program coordinator, so I'll work closely with your advisors if there are any questions, concerns, or issues that they aren't able to answer for you. I also perform degree audits for our students, which is looking at your academic progress to see where you are in your academic journey. If you have any questions, if you need any help, planning your courses and the remainder of your semesters here. I also work with a lot of our students on academic success strategies, and this may be students who are, struggling in their studies. It may be students who aren't struggling. It really just depends on the student and what they're looking for. I also offer academic coaching and mentoring to really create short-term or long-term goals that they want to achieve while they're attending the school and even for the future. I have an office on campus. It's right in the main building. I'm the first office on the hallway in Lowry Hall, right across from the faculty mailboxes. If my door is open, you're always welcome to stop by and say hello, or if you have any questions. I also have a sign on my door that, says if I may be in a meeting or how to contact me if you need to reach me if I'm not there. So to get into the Bachelor of Music study here at the Eastman School of Music, I'm going to go over quite a bit of what's listed here, which are your degree requirements, what applied lessons are, your ensembles, talk a little bit about what colloquium may be, your music theory and music history curriculum, what our first year writing seminar is, as well as the humanities/sciences core here at the school. For a BM, a Bachelor of Music, degree, you must achieve and reach at least 120 unit or credit hours by the end of your studies here, so 4 years. All of our degree programs are at least 120. So, if you're on track, if you've taken all the classes that you've needed to, you'll get to that point. Some of our degree programs are more than 120, so it's not something you need to be too concerned about. However, a lot of our performance-based programs are kind of right at that cusp of 120. And for students who may have, tested out of, say, like piano or some of the music theory classes, you might have a little bit of a gap between, what you are, what total you have of credit hours by the time you're finished and reaching 120. And so you may need to compensate that with additional classes here and there to get to that point. You also need to be a full-time student for 8 semesters to be able to graduate. Full-time means taking at least 12 credit hours each semester. This is also important because your merit scholarships are usually dependent on being a full-time student here. There is also a core curriculum of classes, part of what I mentioned in the previous slide, as well as major specific requirements, which may be about your instrument, which may be about pedagogy, like different levels of piano classes, and I'll get more into that in the major specific sessions if you sign up for those. So these are our applied music majors. Applied music is the application of studying the performance of your instrument. The applied music majors at Eastman are voice, piano, harp, organ, woodwinds, brass winds, percussion, strings, double bass, guitar, and jazz in a variety of instruments. There will be, specific courses that are unique to your major, and those are usually focused on the professional development of your musicianship and you as a performer. Now, this next slide is about our non-performance majors, which is a little bit of a misnomer, but these majors are going to be our composition, music education, music theory, and our jazz studies and contemporary media and writing. Now, while these majors are not necessarily focused on performance of your applied instrument, it does not mean that you do not have any performance aspects. Each student has to perform on their instrument and take lessons in these non-performance majors. It just means that your major studies are about these kind of tracks here that are adjacent to performance, but still require that, knowledge of performing musicians. To go into what applied lessons are. So applied lessons are required for all majors. These are hour-long lessons with a faculty instructor. You will join their studio class, meaning that it is a class comprised of all of the other students that this teacher has, which you'll meet weekly, and that class may include you playing for your peers to get critiques, both as the performer, learning how to take criticism from your peers, as well as, a student critiquing your peer and learning how to give constructive criticism in that regard. It may also include your teacher lecturing about specific topics related to the performance of your instrument, or even a guest speaker for master classes. Your applied lessons also encompass juries, which are a year-end evaluation of the music that you've been working on in your lessons and practice. It will consist of usually a panel of jurors or your faculty members that listen to what you've prepared and evaluate you on how you've done during that performance. Recitals are also a necessary component of being a student here at Eastman. You may be performing in your own recital. It may be in recitals of others. There will be plenty of concerts and recitals that you'll have opportunities to partake in while you're studying here. Large ensemble is a component for all of our majors. Now, each major may have different requirements for the large ensemble aspect, and your instrument will usually dictate which ensemble you'll be in. Now, some of these ensembles, depending on your instrument, you'll need to audition for to be placed into a specific one, whereas other instruments may just be placed into an ensemble based on conversation with their private teacher. We have our wind ensembles, we have our orchestras, we have our choral ensembles, and we also have our jazz ensembles. To talk a little bit about the music theory curriculum, all of our students have to take music theory. You will have a placement exam at the beginning of the semester during orientation. This exam is not, any type of pass-fail exam. There's no failing this exam. It is simply something to place you where you need to be in your theory knowledge. For many of you, it may just be starting in our 100 level of theory, and there is nothing wrong with that. We have two kind of tracks here. The first track is, the 5-semester sequence of theory. This takes you through, learning about your scales, the circle of fifths, all the way, up to like atonal music theory. And you'll have a combination of your written music theory course as well as a oral or listening music theory course. We then have our honors theory placement. So for students who have some background knowledge of music theory, you may be placed into this track, which is actually only 4 semesters. Now that does not make it any less intense, but it is a track that goes over quite a bit of content in a shorter amount of time. It also has both a written music theory class and an oral music theory class. Our music history curriculum has 3 required courses. These 3 courses go over a range of time periods within Western classical music. So you'll see MHS, Music History 121 is 800s to the 1750s. MHS 122 is 1750s to 1880s. And then our MHS 123 goes over the 20th century music. We have additional music history electives outside of these, but these 3 are the core that all of our students have to take. Our first year writing seminar is required for all incoming students, not just Eastman students, just all students in general. It is, again, like it shows here, it's a writing seminar. So you're learning about how to write in a collegiate academic setting. It is part of your humanities and sciences requirements, which I'll go over in the next slide. This class is usually taken during your first semester, though there are exceptions in students who may be in double majors or dual degree programs where you may not be able to fit it in your first semester. There are also a variety of topics for your first year writing seminar. Some of them may talk about political writing, some of them may be about pop culture, some of them may be more historical based. We have a lot of offerings for these, and you can check them out once you've arrived on campus and have a chance to look at them. Your humanities and sciences requirement is something that's also required for every student here. You need a total of 24 units to satisfy this requirement. Now, your first year writing seminar class is 4 credits, and it is counted towards this total. So you'll have completed 4 of the 24 needed by just taking that class. They have to be non-music in nature, so we're talking classes like languages. They may be about the natural sciences, social sciences. They, maybe other classes that are more liberal arts based. But we're talking about classes that are not, a focus in music. These courses must be at least 4 credit hours to count. And you can take them here on the Eastman campus or even at the River campus. You can contact me if you have any more questions at lly@esm.rochester.edu. We can always schedule an appointment one-on-one. The next steps here are to really log into your application portal and look at what due dates that you have for items and to register for any of the major specific sessions that you'd like to attend. I look forward to seeing everybody on campus.